conversation, and I will be reading a poem on here. Super excited about inspiring God's people through word of spoken word of poetry.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, how did you become a poet?
And what I learned about myself is I've been writing poetry since third grade. My dad sent me a copy of a book that me and my classmates did, and it was so ironic that he sent me that on my birthday. And a few years ago, but I have been writing poetry since I can remember. I just always have loved poets such as Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou, and I just love to just give thought in what it is. I also teach poetry through literacy to my children at the church that I belong to, just teaching them about what love is through the art of writing and learning. Because a lot of times, a lot of schools have taken writing out of the curriculum, and that's really sad. But I try to, encourage the children to share your thoughts. When it's their birthday, I give them um, books, and I tell them write down, journal, write down your thoughts, because one day these thoughts may really mean something to someone else. You know what I'm saying? So I will definitely do that. I speak spoken word. I actually have a wedding coming up with Sister Trivia, and I'm reading I wrote a poem for her and her soon to be husband. So I do things like that just off brand. Just someone asks me to write for them or speak of their story, and I try to do it in a loving way and in a way that reaches other people that they can understand what love is through the words of spoken word.
Wow, that's amazing because I too dabble in poetry. Never realized that this would be something that I would be doing. Never thought that I would be a poet nor an author nor doing a lot of the things that I'm doing. But life happens and experiences and just going through a lot of the things that I went through on this journey, it allowed me to be able to share through words, and God opened up a door for me to be able to become an author. And doing that, I was asked to do a poem. Never wrote a poem before. I was just obedient. She asked me to write a poem. I did a. It was titled "The Victorious Woman," and she wanted it to be around Proverbs 31. So I wrote that. She loved it, and it's just like ever since then I have been writing poetry. I think now I probably have about 15 books.
Okay, okay, yes, yes,
Never thought
yes.
that would be something that I would be doing. Never thought I would be an author nor be
Yes.
on a podcast. So God is
And the funny thing is,
he funny.
I was gonna say a part of your purpose, a part of your purpose was to share with others. Just like your magazine, you allowed me and others to share in your poetry magazine, and it was like I never thought I would be doing something like that. Like I'm so honored. I take my magazine everywhere I go. Like listen, I was in this book right here, in this magazine right here on the National Poetry Month. So you have opened the doors for others as well. So you never thought what your purpose was going to be, and you thought maybe it was just for you, but you have opened the door for so many others, and we appreciate you, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, yes, yes. I tell you, he's funny and he's strategic about what he does. And I'm just thankful to be in a place, to be in place because we have to be aligned to be able to walk into those things that he's purposed for us. He knew what was in the cards for me. I just didn't see it. And see, sometimes we just have to step out and believe and trust the process and allow those things to align because he will align us with that's purpose for us if we're in place. So, yes, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next guest. And then we're going to jump into conversation. We're going to jump in that conversation. I want you to ponder those questions that I asked in the beginning. I'm going to ask them again before I get you to chime in, but I want you to ponder those questions while we bring up our next guest, Miss Doris A.C. Johnson.
Hello, guys. I am, as you said, Doris A.C. Johnson. I'm in Michigan, and it's pretty late here. It's 9:30. Um, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Um, really hard to talk about myself. I'm outgoing, but I'm very shy. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am the mother of seven children, one minor, grandmother of three and a half, three and a half children. Um, let's see where to start. Let's talk about purpose. I want to just incorporate that into everything that I do. I have the talk show, Everything's Joy Show, and I have a podcast where you see what I saw. On the talk show, I talk about everything, but I focus a lot on domestic violence and epilepsy. I am a survivor of the two. I started writing. I have eight titles available. I have a lot of projects. I've been featured in or on at least 15 magazines and publications. I co-authored two anthologies, one to come out in September. With the writing, it originally started when I was probably about 53 now. My brother, my parents had gotten separated and things were tough, like tough. We moved into this really bad neighborhood. I started fighting. Had never had a fight before. Things were really bad. My brother, he heard about a fight that I had in school that day. And so he gave me a journal. He wants you to take this journal wherever you go. And everything that you put here on this paper is between you, this pen, and this sheet. And so I started journaling at that time. At 53, I still journal. And I think that the writing has pushed me a long way. When I was in the violent relationship, I was still journaling more than ever. And the writing just put me right in front of people, talking about domestic violence and epilepsy. And I speak of the epilepsy because of the trauma I suffered in the relationship. It's people are going to epilepsy. So it just keeps me in front of the people, and I know that my calling is to inspire people and to talk to people openly about what I experienced. I hope that was enough information for you guys.
Wow. I see that we have something in common. I am a also a survivor of domestic violence. This year would be May 7th, 2026 will be 11 years. And I'm grateful that I am able to share that story too. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for what you are doing for allowing others to have a voice through your podcast and through your radio show. So thank you for that. I always have to give a shout out to my fellow broadcasters for what they do because I know it is truly not easy. It is not easy. So thank you for what you are doing. I want you to ponder those questions that I asked earlier. For those that may not know what those questions, if you chiming in, those questions that I asked earlier was, what's one experience in your life that felt painful in the moment, but looking back, you can now see that it was necessary for your growth? The second question is, how has your personal journey, twists, turns, and all, shaped you into the person you are today? So I'm going to open up the floor and see who would like to chime in on that first question. What's one experience in your life that felt painful in the moment, but looking back, you now see that it was necessary for your growth? Who want to chime in first?
I can go first. Go ahead. So I think for me, the most painful experience that I had was with my last, my ex-husband, I'm gonna say ex. I gotta be used to saying that. I was disabled. I was in a wheelchair and on oxygen for 7 years, and he had to take care of me. And then one day he just felt like I don't want to take care of you anymore. He wouldn't go to work. He let our car get repoed. I was in a situation that I was mentally, emotionally, and financially abused. Never physical, never got physical, So that's why I never looked at it as refused. But when this man decided not to help me anymore, and he told me to my face, I want to leave you. I was in the hospital dealing with some cellulite or something in my mouth and some type of infection. And I was just like, you tell your wife you want to leave her while she's in the hospital for her life? I had to, at that moment, tell God, I got to do something about this. And I told God I wanted to live. I don't want to die being diabetic or complications of diabetes. I don't want to die being overweight. I don't want to die being on this oxygen and helpless. And so that there moment changed my life. I had to change my mindset first. I had to get my relationship back to God, be closer to Him. And then He guided me. I won't go through all the details, but He guided me into what to do. I was well over 400 pounds, but right now God has got me down under 300 pounds. I am no longer on oxygen. I am no longer in a wheelchair. I am up. Matter of fact, I'm at work now. I just stepped outside in my car so that I can do this interview because it was necessary for me to go through the things I went through so that I can help bless somebody else. Even in just my weight loss journey, I had no idea how many lives were going to be touched by watching these videos as I self explore and learn more about Keisha and then the journey that I was taking in my weight loss journey. And I tell people all the time, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. Not mentally, not physically, not spiritually. God has allowed me to grow in that pain and from that pain. And then I can understand what other women are going through and what they're talking about, because a lot of us are ashamed and we don't say much. And this is the first time publicly that I've said this. My family knows and close friends, but I wouldn't say it out loud because I didn't want him to feel embarrassed or ashamed or whatever. I'm still trying to protect him. No, I have to protect me. I have to see about Keisha first now. You know what I'm saying? So this was really, I really wanted to chime in on this because it was necessary. And sometimes we do ask God, why me, Lord? Why do? And I did ask him that even when I was this saved. I'm like, I serve your people. Why am I going through this? And God said, you got to trust me. You got to trust me not to trust me for everything. And that was part of my healing in my journey to trust God. And as I began to see him take the lid off of me, not my ex-husband, but me, I got stronger and stronger each day. And I thank God because he gives all the glory. That's all I got to say about that.
Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful because I definitely have watched your journey, and I've seen I've seen what you have been going through. I've seen the pictures. I've and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your transparency because you're letting other people know that if you trust him and if you're willing to put the work in, um, there can be
Yeah.
transformation, and you can conquer those things that you think that meant you no good or came to harm you, because that's what we often think, that those setbacks and those roadblocks, they come to hinder us, when sometimes they're there to elevate us. They're there to help us as stepping stones to walk into our destiny. Because if we did not have that setback and we did not have that detour, we may be complacent and we may be stuck where we are. You know, I hear people often say, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. But I beg to differ, because I'm glad I look like this, because it lets you know that you can go through and not have to look a mess. Ha. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't say I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through, because it was necessary. It was necessary to get me where I am today. So I take every trial, every tribulation, every setback as an opportunity to see God glorified and to see Him help me to align with my destiny. So I stopped giving Jimmy all that credit, because he don't get no credit. He don't get no credit. So yeah, that's that. Anybody else want to chime in to that?
Guys, can share some of where you are, where you see what happened, the tragedy, or whatever the circumstances were, as it being a part of God's larger purpose for your life. Um, I'm not there yet. I truly am not, and I'm not gonna sit here and recite recite Bible verses. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I spend time in the Word, but I am still struggling because it wasn't just me. It wasn't me. It wasn't that I was in a car accident and I had two broken limbs and I went to a practice. It wasn't me. It was my son.
Mm-hmm.
It was my son. It's my son. And my son did nothing to deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather be the one in a psychiatric hospital right now instead of him. I would rather do time in prison instead of him. He was 22 years old, a person with mental illness, started with the life of another young man. I live with this. I feel responsible. And in as much as I can say God has brought me through the fire, I'm still scorched. So I just pray that someday, one day, I can say what you say and be liberated from that. But I'm not there yet.
And he will. And I just want to share a little bit of someone's testimony that I know, wrongfully incarcerated for over 35 years. In less than 15 days, this man is getting ready to walk free. He's getting ready to walk free. You know, and he's had to live with being falsely and wrongfully incarcerated for 35 years. But he gets a chance um to be redeemed, and he gets a chance to come back out here and to rectify what that wrong, and to clear his name, and he gets a second chance at that. So we can hope and we can pray and we can believe that your baby gets a chance, or something opens up. You know, just know that nothing happens by accident. There's no happenstance. There's no coincidence. That everything happens for a reason. There was a reason why you were invited to be a part of this. I didn't know why I was led to even invite you, but maybe there's something that he wants you to get from the rest of the guests here tonight that you can pull off, and that one day you'll be able to be where they are. So just keep pressing. Just keep pressing.
Thank you.
Just keep pressing. Know that setbacks and detours, it's not always to hinder you. There may be a bigger lesson at the end, but we have to continue the process and we have to continue to go through. I see some of your lives. I see you interacting with your mom, and I see the things that you're doing. Keep doing those things. Keep pouring into the community like you're doing. Keep doing the things that will help others, because that you do for someone else, God is going to do it for you. He's not a man that he should lie. His word is not going to return to him void. You keep keeping on and watch what he do for you. Sister Doris, I want you to chime
Yes.
in on that question, if you would, please, ma'am. And I'll read it again. I'll read it again for you, because I know we've been talking.
Thank you.
So what's one experience in your life that has felt painful in the moment, but looking back, you now see that it was necessary for your growth?
That's tough. I was in that abusive relationship, and I feel like at first I felt punished while I was there. I felt cursed, and I was asking God why, but I was blaming myself in so many ways. I felt like I had done, even though I hadn't, but I felt like I was the problem, but I was the reason, and that came from just being a. But I was being used. I was being used to inspire others, and it took me a long time to get to that. Now I've been gone. since I want to say 2022. I mean 2002. So that was a long time ago. It took me a long time to get to this place, and it took for others to tell me. Even yesterday, I was talking to somebody. It took for others to tell me that, listen, you inspire. You're easy to talk to. You're easy on the ear. And so I know that that's what my purpose is. I don't doubt it. I don't question it. And I know that I'm affecting other people. And that's important to me. And when I was in the situation, I always wanted to help other people while I was there. And that's crazy. While I was in the situation, I'm like, okay, when this is over, then I'm going to help other people. I had to be strong for people while I was in the situation because I had children. And now that the children are adults, and I'm an adult, because at the time I didn't feel like, I feel like I still have to protect other people, to be strong for other people. And I know that that is my purpose.
Wow. Yes. And that is so true sometimes. Wow. You said a mouthful there. Y'all, we have our first caller in here, and she is our sixth reigning commissioner, and she is the 2025 International Internet Radio Hall of Fame broadcast and lifetime achiever elect, none other than Sister Betsy, the truther. Come on in. How you doing tonight, sister?
Hi, my sisters. How you doing? Hi, Angela. I'm doing well tonight. I have to say this. I'm the commissioner, Sister Destined and my show will be on the 12th. I'm calling in. I'm enjoying the stories and the ladies talking about the books and things that they have published. But I want to say something because I refused to talk about it in the past. But I wrote a book in 21. Um, what was done to me has hurt my heart, and people around me wonder what happened with my book. Now, my book was called The Heart of Sister Dusty, the Truther, and that was the first book I ever wrote. And it told of my story, how I started, and my poetry. Um, because at that time, I was fighting for my spirit to know who I was. And what was done to me, I can say that was very hurtful and painful when it comes to my book. I endured a lot of attacks. I endured people stealing from me. I endured people taking my poetry from another site and putting an email on it and use my name and stole my poetry. I have things done to me, have had things done to me that has hurt my very soul and my spirit. And I had to go through these things to learn how people really are, how they would belittle a person, how they would go out their way to destroy a person. Don't think about that person's heart while they're destroying and taking from that person. I grew up as a poor little girl. My family didn't have a lot. For me to write that one book, it was my heart. And I was treated very unfairly, and I don't talk about it until I get the situation solved. But I was very hurt. And like I said, I had to go through multiple things that people have taken from me. Put my information on the internet so anybody can find me or follow me or stalk me. I have been through a lot, but I tell you what, I believe that the Almighty brought me through it all. The hate, the attacks, the backbiting, the stabbing, I'm still here because the Almighty placed me here for a reason. And a lot of people hold it against me because of the awards that I received. I went through hell, almost death, to deliver God's almighty word to people and to deliver truth. But I'm still here. Almighty made it so that I stayed here. But it's all right. I'm still going to stand tall. I'm still going to love. And I'm still going to deliver the truth and deliver God's word no matter.
Wow, that was a lot. But again, we all have moments in life that we have things that obstacles that come, detours that come, ups and downs. But know that it is all a setup for your purpose and the greatness in you to come forth. Um, if I had not went through what you went through, Sister Bessie, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here today because someone did the same thing to me. My first book that I wanted to publish, she took my book. She did not. I mean, I had no access to it. Never even received a PDF copy, the hard copy. I never had access to the book. She wanted me to pay her for copies of my book, and I asked I asked to learn how to publish. And today I can tell you that I've published over 140 literary works. So let me tell you what God will do. I held no grudges. I let it go. You know, I was upset for her for a while. I even came and I came and I exposed her on social media. God said, let it go. See, I had to let it go for me because if I had not let it go, I wouldn't be doing none of the stuff that I'm doing now. I wouldn't have these 140 literary works up under my belt. I let it go. And he allowed me to walk into greater. Not only do I have 140 literary works under my belt, but I've helped others publish. Shaneria, Shanette has helped them publish their books. And I do it on a constant basis with doing my anthologies, giving other people an opportunity to share their voices. I'm a publishing coach because I said I will not allow anyone to do this to anyone around me again. Not and I know he's giving me the knowledge and the know-how. No, I can't allow people to sit around me and not know. So when people say, "Will you publish me?" No, I won't publish you. I'll coach you so that you will know how to do it again. So you won't have to ask nobody else to do anything else along that line again. Because I believe if you teach a child how to fish, that baby will never be hungry because he'll know how to go out there and throw that rod out there in that thing and pull up some fish. So I ain't just out here just talking the game, I'm teaching it too.
Yes, well, Angela, I can't let this go because the life I came from and the struggle that I have gone through since 21, I have not had access to my book where I can let people see what I did in 21. I'm not going to let it go. I cannot. And I have written another book. But at this point, I'm going to have to learn, like you said, to publish it myself. But I learned the hard way, Angela.
So
I
do you
learned
not
the
have
hard way
access to your
that
stuff from
you
2021?
cannot,
Do you not have access?
uh,
Do you not have access to any of your stuff that was published in that book?
no, I cannot use it. And that's been 2021. This is 25.
You cannot use it.
So I have, no, I cannot.
Why can't you use it? You are the author of that.
I have to go. I have to take it legally.
What you mean? You did
Because,
okay? Let me ask you a question. So you just
yeah.
handed over your stuff. You didn't have any copyrights on it.
No, I
You
didn't.
didn't have anything on it
No,
to
I didn't
identify
hand it
that it
over.
was
I
yours.
signed the. No, I didn't hand it over. I signed the contract. And when you sign the contract, a lot of times people can manipulate or they do something
So
to
did
their
you give up your
paperwork.
rights in
In
signing
this case,
when you read the contract? Did you give up your
I
rights?
can't talk. I can't. In this case, I can't talk. Yes, my next show is August 12th. And I apologize. I just can't go through too much about it, but I had to explain what happened. But I'm not giving up on it.
So how has that
I'm a fighter, and I'm going to fight to the end.
okay, so how has that helped with your growth? Because I know that going through that had to help you grow in some way
Oh, you know
since
what?
you brought it
It
up.
has made me stronger. I sat here and cried for years. I sat and cried for years. But at a point, I gave it to God. I said, God, you got to help me with this. Because I can't deal with it. I'm angry. I'm enraged. I'm so forth and so forth. But overall, I'm still keeping my composure because I'm leaving it up to the Almighty to solve. And it made me stronger, because I realized many of the prophets were vexed and they were tortured and things like that, and they still came out strong before the Almighty. So I feel like I'm stronger and wiser.
But I just want to say this, and forgiveness is not always for us, but it's to help us to get to our blessings and to keep being blessed. I didn't say to forget what you have gone through, but forgive, forgive, and go on, and allow Him to deal with it. You can still do what you need to do, but forgive and go on, because believe me, it nothing under the sun goes unanswered. He would turn every stone to make sure that everything is taken care of. There's nothing. He sees all, baby. So know that He sees all. He
Yeah.
sits high and He looks low. But I want to thank you for calling in and sharing with us.
Thank
I
you.
truly appreciate it.
And thank you, sisters. Thank you. Thank you, Angela, so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everything that comes to hinder us, it sometimes has to be a stepping stone to help us go to the next level, to help us to come out of that we're going through. We can't allow stuff to weigh us down and to burden us, because when we walk around with unforgiveness and hatred and things that is not of God in our heart, it hinders us from walking into our blessings and walking into the things that He has already aligned for us. He didn't drop us out of the sky. He had a plan for us. If we go over to Jeremiah 29:11, he said, he declared that's past tense. So that means that it is done. So he had a plan for you, and that plan is going to happen. Just sometimes the detours come, but because they come, don't mean that the plan that he has for you is not going to happen. We just have to align and get back on track. So move in forgiveness so that you can walk into your purpose. Miss O'Reilly, would you like to
Yeah.
chime in? Because I know that there has to be something from childhood, from time spent as a senator, that has helped you to grow, that has helped to mold you into the person that you are. Because in spite of what your son is going through and what your family is dealing with, there's still some good that you're doing, because I see your posts. I see you doing stuff. You're doing stuff. So how
I
that
think
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to that I just wanted to see how that sentence could apply to something in your life, because there has to be something that has helped you to grow, because I know that you're not the same person that you was at 16. You're not the same person that you was at 21, nor 25, nor 30. So how has you grown over the years from your life experiences?
I always had a heart for service. That's clear. I had a moment of, I had one of those aha moments that Oprah talks about often. And it was not too long ago that I was kind of just contemplating where I am in my life and why. and why? Because I kept asking, why me, right? And then I thought, well, why not me? I guess, I was the chosen one for this journey, and so I stopped asking why and just trying to figure out how do I survive through it. And so, obviously, I'm still standing. My marriage is still intact. We're different people. But it dawned on me recently that why God says that that He gives us free will. I think that He still leads us, and we just are not. We just don't know when we're being led. I think let me speak for myself. So many years ago, before I met my husband, I was in college, and I was leaning towards becoming a nun. I was going to join a convent, um, because I was always really, like I said, I had a heart for service. I wanted to be a nun. And I met my husband when, in class, college, and I fell in love with him. But as I was in marriage for 2 years, I consider where I am today. I tried to accept God. I tried to stay I could have chosen a convent and served people in a different capacity, and not have had children, and not have had my heart broken, and have a son with mental illness. But I made a choice, right? Although He placed in my heart serving Him, I chose to marry my husband, and this is where I am. Um, I tried to analyze that and figure out if maybe that's what was happening. Maybe He was saying, this fast is going to lead you here. Your heart is telling you to go in this direction. You decide, and I chose. And so I accept where I am today. I will say that because of what I've gone through with my son, I find myself always encouraging other mothers. I find myself attracting a lot of people who are struggling with children that have mental illness. And so there is that silver lining, right? That because of what happened to me, I'm able to maybe inspire other mothers who are struggling, that there is a way forward, and to help them find the resources that they need, and to identify the signs earlier, the ones that I missed. So yes, if this was my purpose, then I embrace it. If other mothers are going to feel that they need someone that they can look to for support.
Wow. Well, that's what that's one of the things I tell people often, that we can take those things that we think come to hurt us, and turn it around, because there's definitely other people out there that are going through what you are going through, and the fact that you're able to help them and assist them and to share your journey and provide a space for them. Um, while I have you up, if you would please tell individuals how they can connect with you and support the things that you're doing.
Yes, so I'm trying to be as visible on Facebook as possible. I do have a full-time job. I do share my stories. A lot of people, some people are uncomfortable with it, but I feel that by sharing my stories, maybe other mothers are going to be encouraged. I wrote a lot of poetry, by the way, at the very when this happened. I stopped. It's a sign of healing. I think my poetry is very, very dark. Never published. Maybe one day I will. And so on Facebook is where people can find me. I try to make my mother happy on the weekends. And I'm always trying to highlight issues in the community, and work closely with organizations that are helping the homeless. There's a connection between mental illness and homelessness. And I feel strongly that as a community, we're a small island, lady, very small, maybe 50,000 people. And so I just want to improve. the circumstances for the unhoused, and that's my focus. And so, if anyone is interested or if you have access to resources or information you want to share, you can find me on Facebook, and I respond pretty quickly. I just love the work that you do, or looking at what you ladies do as well, and so it's exciting to meet such powerful women who have found their purpose. I'm looking for mine.
You'll catch up with it because it's already been mapped out. It's already been preordained. You just gotta align with it, and I believe that you will catch up with it soon. I thank God for Milagros because Milagros was the one that made the connection. Um, so I thank
Yes,
God for
yes,
her. She's definitely a warrior.
yes.
She is she has been a blessing in my life. I can say that because of her. Because when me and Milagros we didn't meet on best of terms, and she has helped mold me into an amazing person. Because Milagros checked me and she put me in my place, and we have been best friends. She's been like a mother to me, a friend. I go when I'm in Atlanta. I go and I sit with her, and we have conversations. And she just has been a mentor and a friend, a true friend. Um, when I say true friend, I mean true friend that she has been. So I'm grateful for the connection. So hang around, and we're gonna continue this conversation. I'm gonna give the other ladies an opportunity to share how individuals can connect with them because we want those that are tuned in to be able to connect. And if you guys want to call in and join the conversation, you can call in at 717-734-6904 or 605-562-0444. No, you got to put in the ID code, which is 546-1150 pound. And then you have to press £1 to join the studio. And then if you want to talk live and conversation with us, you got to press *2 to get in queue. So y'all come on, join the conversation. Sister Doris, if you would, please tell individuals how they can connect with you. And if you have any projects, anything coming up that we can support, please put that out there.
All right. Have a show, the Everything Door show, and not often, as I said before, have people on that speak about their trauma, domestic violence, and things like that. You can find out more about me on my website at www.everythingdoors.com. But you can find everything that I do on there. It needs to be updated, but I'm still working on the things that are there. I also have a podcast, Did You See What I Saw? It's really funny, not serious at all. I'm talking about sisters, the show by Tyler Perry. So every week I go on, I give commentary, funny prediction, sarcasm. I just let my hair down and do that. Most of my books are available on Amazon. That's pretty much all I have, but I'm featured in an anthology that's coming out in September. It tells just a tidbit of my story because my story is very long. I am working on a book about my story, nocturnal, to go between the sheets, because I do have nocturnal epilepsy, and the go between the sheets is related to me keeping these journal for all these years. And my journal is called Mr. Sheets. So whenever I do an entry, I always say, Dear Mr. Sheets, and then I talk about what what's going on. So it's tied to that. So I'm gonna put that out the very end of December because this will be my way of releasing all of the pain. Because lately I've just been feeling just so free and so calm, and it took me a very long time to get here, to be able to write letters to people who affected my I've been ready to write is people. And so that's why I have been. It took me a long time to get to this point. So there's a lot of things going on. You can just go to my to my website to find out this stuff.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you. Sister Keisha, Poetess Keisha. If you would please.
You can reach me at Poetry Teacher on all media social media platforms. That's my Facebook, um, Poetry Teacher, Teacher on Instagram, also on TikTok. I do have a website. It is poetryspace.com. And I shared different moments with children and my reading experiences for different other people. And we did the best store. I am published on Amazon. I have three books that self-published on Amazon. And the thing I do have coming up, and I'm not talking to you about this, is I am a exhibitor at the Chicago Black Women Expo coming up next weekend, August 1st through 3rd. It is the largest platform for Black women to showcase their entrepreneurship and talents. They have A1 listeners coming in for the whole weekend. It is really a treat, from spa treatment to learning how to deal with their finances. They have a room for everybody. So it is truly an amazing experience. And I have gone three different times and they're celebrating 30 years this year. And I am just honored to be able to visit at that event.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is amazing. That is amazing. I tell you, I have truly enjoyed you guys tonight. We're gonna move on to that second question because we didn't get to the second question, y'all. We was on that first question for a minute. That second question is, how has your personal journey, twists, turns, and all, shaped you into the person you are today? Now, maybe, maybe you can chime in on this one a little bit, Senator, former Senator Nellie O'Reilly. So, the person that you are today, I want to know, how did serving in the Senate for 10 years shape your now for the work that you do within the community?
It's policy making and the creation of law is one aspect of service, but the fulfilling aspect of being in public office is connecting with people. And in a small community like ours, I was able to see the real suffering of people. And I have to say that laws don't change those things. At least the change is not swift enough. And so I, although I always had a heart for service, I feel that I grew to become even more compassionate and to understand where people were at that moment and be less judgmental. Um, Having been in the legislature and serving, by the way, I served one of my terms as the only female in a body of 15. And so I today can say that that experience has allowed me to understand how to maneuver government and to see the disconnect, because there is a real disconnect between policy making and the day-to-day struggles of people. And so I think those experiences today make me adapt and be able to connect people to resources from a different place rather than being in an elected office. It was a great experience, uh, but I feel strongly, ladies, that all of us can still effect change without necessarily being in public office.
Well, just listening to you, you're definitely going to be somebody that I will be tapping into because I am working on my master's in public administration. So, definitely will be tapping in. So be watching your inbox because I'm definitely going to be in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Look, I just started school. I think this is my third week. And never done anything around policies, but with the direction that God is truly taking me, with what I do, and the advocacy that I do, it is necessary. This degree is necessary for me to be able to do some of the things that He's placing in my life. So, definitely, I'm glad for the connection. definitely. So, sister Keisha, do you want to chime in on that question?
What you do? Yeah, I appreciate that, but like a lot of them. Okay. Oops. Hello.
Sister Keisha?
Yes, yes, I'm here. So, for me, it is that I've learned to trust God more, to to build on my faith. You know, sometimes we have the more faith for God, and you have the faith beside of that mustard seed. That's really small. So I've learned to build on my faith with God. I'm more confident and proud of the work that I do. You know, I used to question myself, kind of doubt myself, but no, and I'm unapologetic for who I am and who God is transforming me to be. And I love that I'm able to share my journey with others and also to be able to learn from others. You know, I love to say you're never too old to learn. As long as you have breath, you can learn some things from others. So I love to share my journey as well as learning from others. Like we here, I've learned some things tonight, and I'm truly excited about the growth and how the direction that God is taking me in. But definitely to trust Him. I've been learning to trust Him even more in this journey.
Yes. That is trusting the process. Trusting the process. That definitely.
Right, that's it.
Because we don't always understand, and things don't always work out the way we want them to work out, but it's just trusting the process. I say I'll trust him when I can't see him. I'll trust him even when I can't hear him
That's it.
because his word is true. And all we got to do is apply that word and
Yes.
allow it to manifest in our lives. We got to learn how, sometimes we got to utilize, we got to learn how to speak over our life because he's given us that power. He's given us that power to speak life or death. Y'all, we got caller number two in queue. Caller number two, if you would please tell me where you're calling from, your name, and where you're calling from, if you don't mind.
Hi, Angela. It's not the ordinary. It's unique. I'm calling from Texas. I'm enjoying your show, and I truly believe everything that you're talking about on the show because through my feelings is just learning. I had to learn to let go, even when people try to play others against each other when they know they're doing, but they try to act like they're not. It's like they want people to be enemies. Once I realized that was happening, I just shut down because God gave me the discerning spirit to know when it's happening. And when I hear a voice in my dreams, and then when I wake up and I hear that person voice, I say, okay, God, I know who it is and who's doing it. And when that person disconnects from me, when I haven't done anything to them, or they keep asking me questions about a person, just to let me know they're trying to play both ends. And my thing is one thing that I had to learn in this life when my birthday passed. When I know that I love each individual as their own. And when I see when people are doing things behind my back, I tell people if you don't want to be connected to me, or if you don't want people to know that you are connected to me, leave me alone. Go on your way. I didn't disconnect from you. You disconnect from me. So why are you keep calling trying to find out information? I don't have anything to say to you about anything. Go your way. I wish you nothing but the best. Keep it moving. And that's what I had to learn to let go of. And one thing that I can say to you on this platform is I appreciate everything you've ever done for me. Never have been dishonored or distasteful to me in any kind of way. Not that I know of. God haven't told me that. But I appreciate everything you've done for me because If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on WBNN. I'm still in some of the books. So your anthology is coming out, and I appreciate you for that. But my purpose in life, everybody can't go where I go. Everybody can't travel the same road I travel. And people have hidden agendas, and we have jealousy, we have malice and strife in your heart. There's nothing that we can do about it. But the only thing we can do for those people is pray for them and keep it moving. And I appreciate everything that you've ever done for me because I'm not going to give you your flowers while you live. Because when you're gone, you can't fall, and it's no use of me trying to tell you anything when you're laying on a cold slab. You can't hear it. And so I just was thankful where God is keeping me in my, and I had to really pray and walk into my discernment, and I just appreciate my, and like God has blessed me here, and I say it all the time. He's blessed me to be here 57 years, months, weeks, days, minutes, and seconds. Out of that time, what have I poured into somebody else? It's not about my ego. It's not about how many jobs, the porn, everything that I've done. What have I done to make somebody else feel like they worth being into this world? And that's what I thank God for putting inside of me.
And for those that do not know who you are, please tell them how they can tune in and support you, Queen.
Hey, unique. Hey, unique. Get close to the mic, man. Hear you, man. You say now. Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yes, I
Can
can.
y'all hear me now?
I can, yes.
Okay, okay. My show is on WBNN on Tuesday, 29th, which is next Tuesday. And also on the Groove Saturday night on www.podbean.com with Dr. O. Ngozi and myself. And we have a lot of different platforms and music styles, rhythms. And if you would like to come in and join in with us on each Saturday night, we would love for you to come in and sit down and have a talk with me, us. And also on next Tuesday, the 29th, you can tune in to WBNN. It's not the ordinary, it's unique. And have a conversation with me and just be transparent and just speak your truth about whatever you're feeling or whatever the conversation is about. And I want everybody to be blessed and just keep walking into your purpose. And thank you so much, Angela, for letting me have a voice.
Amen. Amen. Everything that we do has to point back to the one that created us. So that's what I do. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for fortune. I don't do it for accolades. I don't do it for none of that because he could have took me out of here when I was on my bed of affliction, but he gave me another chance. He gave me another chance, not a second chance, because he been gave me a second chance. He gave me another chance, and this time I want to get it right. I want to impact. I want to change lives. So that's why I do what I do. We have caller number three in queue. Caller number three, if you would please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hi, it's calling in from Little Rock, Arkansas.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I can't complain. I won't complain. Ain't no need complaining. It does nobody good.
That's right. Well, I just wanted to call in for a minute and support your show. I think this is the first time I've heard you from the best of my knowledge. But hello, it's good to hear you. And I just wanted to introduce myself. And my show is on August 7th, 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And my show is called U-Turns, and we'll be discussing dismantling white supremacy within finance.
All right, all right. Well, thank you for calling in. Would you like to chime into the conversation? The questions that were asked. One was, what's one experience in your life that you felt may have been a painful moment, but looking back, you now see that it was necessary for your growth.
Painful moment, really realizing that I've never really had a family. Um, but for my growth, it did a lot for me. I've developed a lot of skills that I don't think I would have developed. I've been very resourceful in ways that I don't think I've been resourceful before. And it taught me a lot about setting boundaries. So I went to the great length of pressing charges on multiple of my family members just to be left alone. So it did a lot for my growth. That's probably the most painful experience that I can think of.
Wow. Well, I definitely thank you, and I do chime into your show, and you've had some amazing shows. I think you've been on my show a couple of times before. Um, but yeah, I thank you for that, and I thank you for the work that you're doing here with WBNN. Your shows are amazing, and a lot of people need to chime into your shows. A lot of people need to chime in and listen. Um, some of those people down there in Texas right now with this Camilla Courtney case, they need to be chiming in and listening to your show because they can learn a lot from you. So definitely, I thank you for what you're doing. Keep doing it, keep showing up, and keep being transparent because that's what it's going to take for people to truly get healed and to come into their truth because it's about them coming into their truth. When we own our truth and walk in it, that's when we can heal and those around us can heal as well. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Angela. And it is starting to come back to me. I'm having some difficulty the last couple of days with memory losses. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to process and for it to come back to me, but I am starting to recognize your voice. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you. So, Poetess Keisha, I know you got to get
Yes,
off
ma'am.
before you go. Is there anything that you would like to share with the listeners before you leave? And again, I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on tonight.
Yes, I love you. I love you. And thank you for having me. I just want to say to everyone, never give up. We go through the process, and just like you said, we trust God and trust the process. We go through being angry, we go through being hurt, disappointed, all of that. And God just wants to see how are you going to react when you go through that storm. Are you going to trust Him, or are you going to not believe in Him? So when we go through, we know that God is in control. Never give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. That's what I want to tell those that are discouraged, that feel like there's no hope, there's no way. God is the way. He is the truth and the life. So never give up on yourself, because God don't give up on us. That's what I
Amen.
have to say.
Amen. And
Amen.
before you go, I definitely want you to connect with Unique, Little Unique Parker. She was the young lady that was on before that last caller. She is right there in the Fort
Okay.
Worth, Dallas area. She's gonna be right there where you moving to. So y'all definitely
Oh,
need to
yes, yes,
connect.
yes.
Yeah, she's gonna be right there.
All
So
right.
connect with her. She's in a couple of the anthologies that we've been in together. So y'all already know each other. Just chime in and connect, and then that's it. I appreciate you again for stopping by. You have a great night. So y'all, we are coming to it's that time. We're coming to a close, and I want to give everybody I want to give Miss Doris and I want to give Miss O'Reilly an opportunity to share their final thoughts. And then we're gonna go to Ngozi time. So I'm gonna start with Miss O'Reilly. Miss O'Reilly, if you would please share your final thoughts for tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much for having me. I really admire your guests and you, and I'm walking away from this feeling more invested in my in creating a stronger, closer relationship with God, and in leaning more on Him for understanding rather than my own understanding. I, 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 I'm hopeful and I'm very grateful. And I want to apologize if I wasn't as enthusiastic about finding my purpose and what happened in my life. But the conversation has really, for me, it's now going to help me continue to look into the Bible and into God and what His purpose is for my life rather than into the negative and why I'm stuck where I am. I don't want to stay stuck, and you guys have really inspired me. So thank you so very much.
Amen. It was necessary. It was necessary for you to come and participate in where you were. See, we have to meet you where you are. That's what he said. He would meet us where we are. So that's what we had to do tonight. So it was necessary for you to be here so that you could hear everything else that took place, so that you could transform your thinking. So, hey, count it all joy. Count it all joy. I'm thankful for you in taking accepting the invitation and coming. So, thank you for gracing the platform on tonight, Sister Doris. If you would
Yes.
share your final thoughts.
Final thought. First, I want to thank you for thinking of me. I'm just super excited to listen to the other ladies on the call. What I'm, what I'm experiencing now is um, learning to find peace and forgive people without their acknowledgement. I'm learning that even at my old age that that's important to do. To forgive people for your own peace without an apology. And so I hope that other people will get on that journey because at this point I'm beginning to feel better
Mm-hmm.
about failed relationships, about trespasses, and about where I'm about to go. I need to be free, and it freeing them from my spirit that I can be free. So that's where I am, and I hope that that will help somebody else get to where they need to go.
Exactly, exactly, and that's it. I definitely I have enjoyed just conversating with you guys because all the time we want to give the enemy credit, but yet sometimes those ups and downs, those twists and turns was only to break and mold us into who He has called us to be, because He knows who we're going to be at the end of the day, but we have to get there. So it's a journey and it's a process that we have to go through. So sometimes we just need to praise Him through it and thank Him for allowing those things to come, because sometimes those things come to correct us and to get us back on our path. So I'm grateful for you guys chiming in tonight and being a part of this amazing show on tonight. So with that being said, it is and goes the time. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the folks that counted out to be here tonight. The wonderful women that were on this outstanding show tonight, and I'm very proud of them because I got a lot to say. First of all, Senator Nellie O'Reilly, thank you so much. Of course, the poetess is on. Her name Keisha, thank you very much. George A.T. Johnson, thank you so much. Now I get a chance to talk about this young lady. For Christmas in 5 years. Um, and the top of the list was also a former commissioner of Texas. And I'm proud of her. Very much a third range commissioner here. And her journey through broadcasting, where she grew, found herself, shook off nervousness, and understood the value of interviewing. Her shows have grown because of her voice and the mic that she commands. And she allows a lot of people to be part of this experience. One was, of course, my partner in crime and rhyme, Miss Phoebe Parker. Without her being interviewed,
is by Angela Thompson Smith, the journey in our ministry would not be going forward. So kudos to Angela for that. And then, of course, the power of energy, power of commanding your show, the power of bringing forth people who might not have a voice anywhere else. That is the mission that we've been doing on this network, just started out since 2013. There's countless of shows, amazingly, 4,206 episodes of the one and only Beverly Nation. That was tonight in February 2013. And to see this young lady thrive to excellence, our excellence, in her journey being a nominee and been enshrined to the International Radio Hall of Fame in the class of 2023 is amazing. She always tries to, well, not try, she always does give me the accolades, but really her walk has been dynamic, progressive, and spectacular. And that's it. Congratulations to Angela Thomas Smith on her 71st WBNN All-Time Connection record with the Darlene Lawrence Championship. I don't know, late Hall of Famer, and 8 consecutive in that realm. She's pushing for another double-digit connection record on her resume. She's outstanding, and I love her very, very, very much. A lot of times on other shows, she seems nonchalant. I don't know, that's nervousness or whatever. But really, if she calls into your show, don't take her voice being nonchalant that she doesn't support. That's just her way. You know what I mean? That's just who she is. And we love her just the same. Tomorrow night on this outstanding network, we come back with a man who's a legend. He's also a lifetime achiever to the International Radio Hall of Fame, the class of 2022, class of 2020, and trainee of the same academy. His name is Huni Hudson. The name of the show is We Are Where You'll Be Anything, someone that is very, very near and dear to our heart. 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time with the one and only Beverly Nation. Of course, WBNN has advertised for the Go-Be Time multimedia affiliate, Google, Instagram, X, join us, Twitter, all of that, Malay Wingos, and Facebook. Any comments, suggestions on wonderful program tonight? Oh, late day, late night, you know, goodbye, and you know that's how I am. Beloved father's favorite super Dr. Madonna Malay Wingos, your boy, Bobby, your Russian Michigan. And Lonnie and Eddie say before we say goodnight to love. To all the folks out there in law enforcement radio, support us for a conference. That's what that's actually the 2023 Annual Award winner for excellence, the communications host of the year. But in the same year, and Excelsior, the 2023 International Radio Hall of Fame broadcasting nominee, the young lady from Anderson, South Carolina. Unmuted. For an outstanding Angela Thomas Smith.
Again, I want to thank my special guests for gracing the platform on tonight. None of this would be possible without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Always, I want to thank those that chime in and support us here on the WBNN. None of this would be possible without you guys supporting the network. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. And of course, could not any of this be possible without Brother O? I am grateful for him starting this platform and allowing us to be a part of this platform and allowing us to utilize our voices. So again, I thank everyone that makes this possible and allow us to be able to share our voices. Again, I thank you guys for chiming in and being a part. If you would like to connect with me, you can go over to my website, AngelaThomasSmithBooks.com. You can find out all about the books that I have. You can find out about current events, things that are coming up, and how you can connect with my amazing network, which is the Crew Podcast. We are home of 9 amazing queens and 1 king. Y'all, we rocking the airways just like we doing over here on WBNN. I've learned from the best, and I'm just trying to be that change that I can be in this world. If you won't change, you got to be that change. It starts and it ends with you. Y'all go be change makers. Until next time, in 4 weeks from today, I'll see you again. Y'all be blessed and know that I love you. And like Brother O say, there's not one single thing you can do about it. Y'all be blessed.